96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
WOCA.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
Born free as the wind blows. Can't get used to losing you, no matter what I try to do. Gonna live my whole life through loving you, Maria.
I love the song, Maria.
Did a great song.
Well, we're playing a medley of songs by Jimmy Osmond. Jimmy Osmond is in the studio. I'm sure you know the name. The youngest of the Osmond Brothers, right?
Yep, they gave up with me. Can you imagine the hand-me-downs, you know?
Good morning, Jimmy. How are you? What an honor to have you in our studio.
Hey, great to be here. What a cool spot. And,
this is a very good spot.
In a very warm day.
How'd you get here? Did you?
I drove.
From?
Actually, I drove from the airport.
Oh, okay.
I flew from Utah. We just finished this show that we're doing tonight here at the Villages, and so I went home, played with the family, and then flew out here. This is the first stop on the Andy Williams Moon River and Me tour, and so I'm super excited to play the Villages again. But what a great community!
We've got 100 questions to ask you. So.
Oh, you do? Okay, I'll shut up. You go.
and I'm sure you've been asked many of these questions a million times, but we're hoping that we have at least one or two you've never heard.
Okay, let's go for it. That sounds great.
So first of all, thank you for coming in. Nice to get to know you.
Here.
And like everybody else, you probably meet. We've known you all of your life. You're one of the few child stars that actually stayed handsome.
Oh, thank you. That's only a matter of opinion, though, right?
Like Ron Howard's brother or Ron Howard.
Yeah,
you know how they started out
he was
cute.
a great character actor, wasn't he?
See, what a positive guy. See,
exactly.
But I'm just saying, just looks wise. I mean, you still held on to your looks.
Well, you're nice. Thank you.
I just know what to say. All right.
I know. He's humble.
So you're performing in the Villages tonight?
Tonight. I'm doing 2 shows. And this is a show that is produced with a lot of love. I mean, Andy Williams was our mentor, our friend. I mean, he touched everybody's life, didn't he?
Yeah, and I want to ask you about that. Can we talk about him for a second?
Yeah, let's do
Because this seems like it's about Andy Williams. So all the songs you do are songs that Andy Williams did. Is
Not
that right?
all of them,
but I mean at the show tonight.
Tonight, most of the songs will be of course, the award-winning music of Andy Williams, and then of course we'll throw a few of our hits in there as well, because really our legacy grew out of his, because we were his featured act and sang on his records and toured the world with him. He was a great man.
Were you part of the group that we knew as the Osmond Brothers when you were really little, or were you like the sideshow?
Well, I was the mascot,
when you were a baby.
But the truth is,
but your sister was never in there, though.
She was, but it was only just like a couple of performances. Okay. But it was mostly about the brothers, who were initially discovered by Walt Disney, and then they became regulars on Andy's show. And then I just joined the ranks. I was 3 years old. That's 50 years ago.
Wow.
And I've never stopped since I was 3.
So how did Disney discover your brothers? How did that happen?
It was a fluke. They went to do an audition with Lawrence Welk, and he wouldn't see them. And so rather than being disappointed, as fate would have it, my brothers all dressed alike, to perform. Right. And so they went to Disneyland, and they started singing on the streets. Randomly,
no. And Walt Disney was there.
And the Dapper Dans was a group that sang on the streets as well, and they took him to Walt Disney because the crowd became so big, and Disney put him on a show called Disney After Dark.
Oh, really?
That's where Andy's father saw him and put him on as a one-off, and then the next thing we know, we spent our whole lives working and being his friend. And
it would have been a natural fit for Lawrence Welk, but in a way the story tells me that it was a good thing that your family didn't go that way, because you would have been stuck under that Lawrence Welk umbrella, which wouldn't have been so bad.
No, and matter of fact, we ended up working with Lawrence Welk, and today at my theater, which is the Andy Williams Performing Arts Center, we still have the Lennon Sisters, of course, which grew up not only on Andy's show but started on Lawrence Welk. And
is that right?
They're part of our Christmas shows, and it's great fun.
Wonderful.
Andy Williams, in one of the videos we watched yesterday, you're a little guy.
Yeah.
And he looks like he really, really was a caring guy. And so I'm guessing the relationship that your family had with him, it's got to be more than just friends. There must have been almost like family.
Yeah, he was family. It was so neat. The other day, I started this show, and his wife, Debbie, came to the show, which made me so nervous, you know.
I bet.
And then two of the original Williams brothers, which Andy's brothers, you know, Don and Dick Williams, walk in and they want to see the show, and I'm like so petrified.
Oh, no.
You know, it's one thing to just do a show for the general public, but these are people that, I mean, they're Andy's family, you know, and they were family to us, and they loved the show, and it was cool. But yeah, we have that connection with them, and everybody needs somebody to stick their neck out for them in life, and Andy did that for us.
So how did you have musical influences when you were surrounded by music so closely? Like you'll always hear like Stevie Wonder had these musical influences, and of course they were on records, and well, anybody you name, it was always on records. In your case, I mean, it's in your house.
We knew him as Uncle
It's in your
Stevie.
living room. Yeah, I mean, so
But that old Hollywood way was everybody was on each other's variety shows, and we got to work with these people that became legends. But we knew them just as, you know, a
but
normal
you were in
relationship.
Utah, though. I mean, Utah's a long.
We
way.
weren't really. I was born in California.
Oh, okay.
And
okay,
of course, my brothers and my family were all from Utah, but with all those years we lived in L.A.
Okay.
And
okay.
but we still called Utah home. And I just moved back not too many years ago, because you know you go back to your roots and where your family is. And my brother Donnie's like a block away, and our kids are all friends. And
Is that right?
I think that's something to celebrate, though.
you know what I never
is
realized?
We're all friends after all these years.
Be mad at me, but I always thought that One Bad Apple, is that what it was called?
Yes.
I always thought that was Jackson 5.
It was supposed to be.
Really?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I worked for Michael for years, and we used to laugh about how some of the hits that were written for them were really for us and vice versa, and how Joe would have them watch us on the Andy Williams show because we started, you know,
Oh, really?
that way.
To get tips?
Yeah, and it was quite funny.
Oh, really?
And then we actually, people in the 70s especially, tried to pit the Osmonds against the Jacksons,
yeah,
you know,
I
because we
remember
were all
that.
having hits at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But we actually were really good friends and would laugh about it.
Who was the other like old boy family with the Menudo brothers or something?
Oh,
Yeah,
the
Menudo.
DeBarge. I mean, there's so many.
Oh, that's right,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
there was
some
so
of them.
many groups, but
But I think you and the Jacksons kind of inspired that. It's in the same way that the Beatles inspired that whole group of Beatle wannabes after they came out.
well, I don't know about that, but we were. I guess my brothers were one of the first original kind of boy bands, you know, especially in Europe,
Yeah.
because that's kind of where we had the most influence, I think, musically. And here it was more about the variety television and all that kind of stuff. But in the UK and Europe, it was more about the record career, which is kind of fun. I'm taking this show, as a matter of fact, after we play Vegas. We take this show for 27 dates in the UK as well, so
Wow,
it's
that's
kind of
cool.
cool. But Andy touched so many people's lives
Right.
around the world, you know.
I always associate him with Christmas. And
Yeah.
you do a Christmas special?
We do Christmas shows, yeah. You know, if you would have told me that when I was 3 years old on his show that I'd end up owning his theater and being trusted by his
Right.
family to continue that legacy, I would have thought you're nuts.
That's wonderful that you do that, though. I mean,
Oh, but he was the best, and it makes sense to do it. because-
he's the best, but he's underappreciated, I think. I think.
Well, I don't know. I think people that have grown up listening to his music and remember his music realize how much he really did touch their lives. And music is a powerful thing. It transports you back to an easier day.
Oh, yeah.
And people still come to my theater,
You got
his
a
theater.
beautiful voice, by the way.
Oh, thank
I
you.
mean, I guess everybody tells you that. But you do. I mean, you have a really nice sounding voice.
Oh, thank you. You know, this is kind of a departure for me to sing this kind of music again, because, you know, the 70s, it was always kind of the scream sing kind of raspy voice.
Well, I know, and I was
songs,
thinking
which
that.
is what I grew up doing, you know.
I mean, I'm glad you're not honoring Twisted Sister. You
We could do that.
you would
but,
ruin your voice.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny to kind of place your voice in a different way. I did a show not too long ago in the UK called Pop Star to Opera Star, where they take pop stars and they train them to sing
Oh my.
opera. And it was...
That's hard to do,
It
isn't
was
it?
so hard. And I was feeling like such a loser, like I couldn't do it. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it said, whoa, there's a different voice in there than what I have been singing.
Really? Really?
And so I'm really working on it, and it's quite fun at this
Is it
stage of
hard
my
to do?
life.
Are you a fan of, oh gosh, who's the guy I like?
Oh, gee.
Josh Groban. Are you a fan of Josh?
Yeah,
Groban?
I like Josh. He's cool.
I mean, when he sings, it's like it's this like hybrid of pop and
I
opera.
know it's a beautiful, unique.
But
voice.
you know, when Sinatra once said he wished he could sing like Pavarotti or one of the opera singers, and his daughter said to him, I read this in an article, I don't know them. He said she said something to the effect of, "No, your voice is what people like."
Yeah.
And his voice is what people like. It's like, do you like ice cream? Do you like meatloaf? I don't mean the singer. It's like two different things, but we like them both.
But I think audiences are smart. I mean, they can tell if someone's singing a song and is just rehearsing the words or really means the words when they phrase it or they sing it. And Sinatra was the best at that. I mean, he could practically talk a song and it had so much personality in it that, you know, everybody's unique, I guess, that way. But people can tell if you're really singing these songs from your heart or not, you know.
So how do you maintain it? How do you maintain the physical demands of singing every night? How do you do that?
Oh, it's not hard. It really isn't. You know, showbiz, I never understood people that were like so precious about it. Because, I mean, my goodness, it's what an opportunity to be able to do what you love, for me especially this many years, and go out there and you have some connection, because I kind of grew up on TV with my brothers and my sister.
Kind of. You did.
Well, you know what I mean. And some people, they know your personality more than just as a member of a group.
Is it weird that everybody feels like they know you?
No, I think it's awesome. I mean, it's so cool. And that's why I don't understand like some of the pop stars and stuff today where they don't want to be bothered and sign autographs and that kind of stuff. I just don't get it.
You're so nice.
No, but it's so easy to get out of show business. Staying in it is the trick. And that is...
What would you do if you weren't
doing it? This is the way we
doing
were
it?
trained. Andy was this way.
What would you do if you weren't doing it? It's probably a canned question, but what would you do?
I'd probably be in real estate. I mean, I'd probably be a plumber.
You look like you
I have
could be in
no
real estate.
idea, yeah.
You got the look.
For a plumber, right?
Then you got the preacher look. You got like a preacher look going on right now.
You got the hair.
No, I do. Oh, my goodness.
So do you... oh, my gosh. No, I lost what I was going to say.
I get more face every day. You know?
Well, what kept you what kept you so vibrant and you didn't go to the dark side? Because
dark
sometimes
side.
when people get famous, they just throw everything to the wind and they just do a downturn.
Well, I don't know. I think the fact that we were a family that did this together, we were never about being famous. It was about having a career that we enjoyed, that lasted.
In your business, you have to be famous to have a career.
Yeah, but you can also be open, because I never thought show business would last for me. I mean, I was the youngest of 9, and I had my own hits, but really, I kind of grew up a little bit enmeshed in a group, you know.
What was the Japan part of your story? What was that?
Well, I was the first one in my family to record and have a hit, and I was 5. And we were on tour with Pat Boone at the time.
Oh, really?
And the head of Sony said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if your young kid could sing in Japanese? And of course, my dad didn't know the word no. And so I learned it phonetically, this song called Chichana Koibito. And I went and I sang it. It was a #1 hit. And I started recording and endorsing soft drinks and doing all of these kinds of crazy things.
And you had to do it all in Japanese?
Did it in Japanese. Ended up having a series there called Nichio Warai Gekijo Aterebi Hoso.
Like Joni Does Chachi or something like that?
Well, it was kind of a mix
Joni
between...
loves Chachi.
Joni loves Chachi.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not the other way.
Yeah. It was kind of a mix between, like, pop stars would sing their current hits, and then they would also do, like, a drama piece, you know, kind of a comedy.
Did you do talk shows over there?
Yeah.
So you knew Japanese
Enough
fluently?
conversationally.
Really?
But I always played like a exchange student in Japan that would mess up the language. So it was quite easy.
We have a Japanese listener. Can you say hello to her? Her name is Miyoko. She listens.
Miyoko, genki desu ka? Boku wa Jimmy Osmond desu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu.
Wow. I have no idea what he said.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
No,
That's too funny.
Well, you are truly very versatile, though. I mean, we read that you are also a choreographer, and that is amazing in itself.
well, no, I'm not a choreographer so much, but I've worked with a lot of choreographers. My brother Jay used to do most of the choreography. He'll be in the show tonight. He was the guy that was the cute one that first started on Andy's show without the 2 front teeth, you know, and he was the guy that sang Crazy Horses and you name it. He's been there the whole time, and he was so cute. He said, hey, I want to come. And so he'll do he was one of the top drummers in the country. He's going to do a solo tonight, and
Oh, wow.
And so it'll
Robin's
be quite
brother's a
fun.
drummer. Robin's brother plays.
really?
Yeah, he does percussion. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
awesome.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, no,
if your
you
brother
have-
gets sick, we can call her brother.
That's right.
okay, good.
Yeah.
We need another brother. Like a hole in the head, but that's okay.
Well, you have a wonderful cast with yourself. You have 3 gentlemen and a lady, and notice you put
Yeah, that's
the
for the
lady's
European
picture
tour
last.
right there, yeah. The
put
guy
the
that we
lady's
have
picture
tonight that's featured is Charlie Green. He was discovered by Simon Cowell, and he has the most amazing voice. He's only 18 years old, and he sounds amazing, just like Andy did when he was his age. At least that's what Andy's family said. They
Oh, is
just
that
fell
right?
in love with his
Is that
voice.
right? Wow.
Yeah, so he'll sing some really good songs tonight as well. So.
Let's mention who you are, just for those tuning in. Jimmy Osmond is in the studio. It's such an honor to have you here. You are performing tonight in the Villages, the Andy Williams Moon River and Me show. It's a tribute show to Andy Williams, who was your friend and your mentor. The performance is at the Savannah Center, which is at 1575 Buena Vista Boulevard in the Villages, and there are 2 shows, one at 5 and one at 8. And the contact number for the Savannah Center, if you would like to call, is 352-753-2270. In your bio here, it says you're an advocate for children's literacy, and that's something very close to what Robin and I
really
have
Oh,
done.
touches
cool.
us.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Well, initially it kind of came out of my mom started the Children's Miracle Network, which used to be called the Osmond
didn't know that.
Foundation. Yeah, I still sit on the board, but has 170 hospitals throughout the United States
Wow.
and Canada. It's raised a lot of money thanks to good folks helping us and sponsors.
Wow.
And the other part of her agenda was always education. And I'm a cartoonist. That's what happens when you sit on an airplane or backstage.
You
too
doodle
long,
a lot?
you know.
You doodle?
I doodle.
Yeah?
And so I did.
So
this,
do you have characters that you
Yeah, I
have
did. I used to
developed?
work. I developed characters with Warner Brothers for a while, and
Did you really?
did some crazy stuff. And
Do we know any of them?
not really. None of mine really saw the light of day. Okay. But I used to have a cartoon strip, and it was fun. So I wrote this book called The Awesome Possum Family Band recently, and it's out. And what's cool, it's really for schools. It's about self-esteem, about how everybody counts, and it's really my life story about being the youngest of 9 talented siblings, and wondering where you fit.
Did you have a self-esteem issue at all, ever?
Not really. A little bit sometimes. You
Yeah.
kind of wonder if you matter, you know, especially in the world that we grew up in. I
Right,
mean,
right.
you know, when you're on TV every week or whatever, you kind of feel like, oh, am I just a number?
And to
you know
your-
what I mean?
And to your
Right.
parents' credit, I mean, they must have did something right, because you never let it go to your head.
Well, they were always afraid when we would have hit records or whatever. They were always afraid to celebrate it. They would just go ahead and pick up the trash, Jimmy, or they did make me do a real job, you know.
They
And-
wouldn't give you a pizza?
No,
wouldn't buy a
they would
pizza?
pretty much just say, hey, you know, this is a phony business. This is not about being a celebrity. This is about working with your family, developing your talents, and giving back what God gave you.
Well, and yeah.
so that was really you'd think a hard way to grow up, but in essence, it saved us because, you know, my mom and dad treated everybody the same. They treated them well. Whether you're off the street or it was the Queen of England, they'd bring you in their house, make you a
Did you
sandwich.
play for the Queen?
And
Did you play for the Queen?
a couple of times, yeah.
Really?
It was so cool.
Did you follow protocol, or did you not? I mean,
No, I kind of messed it up.
You always hear
'Cause I
about
was
these
such a
stories.
little guy, and you know, you can't raise your hand until she raises hers. You can't speak until she speaks to you. And of course, the first thing I did as a little boy, I was next to Liza Minnelli and you remember Rowan and Martin?
Yeah,
yeah.
Anyway, we were doing this command performance, and I said, "Hello, Mrs. Queen," you know. And it was cute because later on in life, not too many years ago, I performed for her again, and she stopped and talked to me for a while.
Oh.
And she said, "I remember when you were a little boy," and I had a big hit there in England called "Long-Haired Lover" from Liverpool, and she was so sweet. But I
Long-haired
have
lover
hu-
from Liverpool.
Yeah, it was.
How
It
did it
was.
go?
I'll be your long-haired lover from Liverpool. Anyway, it was
sound
played
English
so
right
much that it was like one of those songs that you love to hate. I was like Barney, you know.
Maybe to you.
To me.
To everybody else.
But she remembered it, and I thought that was pretty cool.
So let's ask you some personal questions.
Uh-oh.
Are you married?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have a beautiful wife of 25 years.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we have 4 great kids, 21,
21.
Is the oldest, and the youngest is 14. 2 girls, 2 boys.
Are they home or are they here in Florida?
They're home in Utah. My daughter actually works for Children's Miracle Network, and my son just is going to college and going on a mission to Japan, of all places.
Oh,
Is that
good
right?
for him.
So we're going to have fun being able to talk a little bit.
Music? Are they musical? Anybody music? Is your wife
Yeah, they've
musical?
all been in shows. I've
Really?
owned theaters for 23 years, and again, when I bought Andy's theater, I thought, I'm going to put them all in the show, and that didn't happen. My daughter sang on my new album that's out now. She sang a song, because I used to work with, years ago, with Nancy Sinatra. You mentioned Nancy.
Oh, wonderful.
I worked with her at the International Hotel, and as a little tribute, because she just lost her brother, Junior.
Oh, that's right. She
And
showed-
yeah, my daughter sang this song, that Something Stupid. You remember that song
Right,
that
sure.
Frank and she sang? So Sophia and I sang it together as a little, it was just a little tribute to Nancy. And the record company liked it so much that they put it on the album. So she's singing with me on that.
Oh, how marvelous.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. But it's fun to remember the old nostalgic way. You're seeing a lot of young kids like Pixie Lott and a lot of these younger artists re-recording Andy Williams music, because that 60s vibe was so unique and so special.
Well, and his contribution to the 60s was so his contribution was different than other things that were going on at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. He was always classy, though. I mean, he was never afraid to do variety, though. But he always handled himself so well, so classy.
So do you listen to some of the new artists, Ed Sheeran?
Oh yeah,
some of
great
those guys?
talents.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and they have their own sound too.
They
They
do.
take more breaths, I think. Have you noticed that? They say they'll sing a word and take another word.
Yeah.
It's a lot of breaths.
That's right.
Yeah, everybody interprets the song different, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe, I'm still a young guy, but I kind of grew up on that old nostalgic, old Hollywood way.
Yeah, you were
And
surrounded with it.
I loved it. And I think people, we can all do the vocal acrobatics like a lot of the younger kids are doing
That's what I
today.
call it, vocal acrobatics.
Yeah, which I love. I think it's awesome.
I think it's showy.
But by the same token, a great song is a great song, and sometimes you get in the way.
Absolutely. This is what I say.
Exactly.
All the
That's
time.
Yeah,
exactly
you
what
get in the
we're-
way of it.
But when Mariah Carey was doing that, I love Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Amazing
why doesn't
voice.
somebody tell her, don't do that so much?
Just do it once.
Yes, a little bit here and
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Well,
But
I
she-
think
and she
that's what makes
doesn't.
them unique.
And she doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But I mean, when you're talking about songs like "The Days of Wine and Roses" or "Can't Get Used to Losing You," or anyway, there's so many.
Do you know what I
You
wonder?
just get out of the way. You just sing the song, and none of us pretend that we sing like Andy. But when people hear these songs, they just love.
I know you're not going to
remembering
like
it.
this, but you
Because
sing.
it's your personality.
You sing better than Andy.
Oh, baloney.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're not
Thank
going
you.
to. I know you're not.
Baloney.
I knew you'd say that.
But let me
You're so
ask you
nice.
this: do you know what you do for us? Do you really know it? Because you said your
That is
father.
a bizarre question.
It is. I told you I'd have at least one. So your father said it's just a business. You don't get a big head. You take out the garbage, which is wonderful. But the truth is one part that you didn't tell us, your dad told you, and is this: that after listening to you, watching you, anybody who affects us through this medium called TV or radio or records, whatever it is, you've somehow made our lives better. And I don't know if you know that or if you
Oh,
can
you're so
see
nice. Well, I don't know if I
It's true.
I was just there. I mean, I think the people that made my life better were definitely people like Andy, definitely my parents, definitely my brothers and my sister. And there isn't a day I don't thank God for the fact that I had my family in my life and that we were given this opportunity to be on a stage and to perform for people and hopefully lift people. I think that is such a positive thing when people can come to a show,
Yeah.
forget their troubles for a couple of hours and feel like,
That's it right there.
That's it.
You just hit
that's
it on
all
the
it
head.
is. And that's what keeps, I think, real entertainers going. It's not about, oh, look at me.
You're going to the villages, and the villages is absolutely filled with people who will appreciate you. We have in Wearsdale, you probably don't know the town. It's a little town. There's nothing there.
I saw it on the GPS.
But there's a theater there called the Orange Blossom Opry. They made it out of an old school.
It's
Oh, cool.
And it's
wonderful.
unbelievable, the artists that show up there.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to begin to name them because I'll mess it up. But
the house
point
band is high caliber.
The point is, the people from the villages fill this place up all the time.
Yeah.
And said they appreciate what you do and what artists like you do.
Well, you're so nice. Well, this was kind of a last-minute booking to come here again. We played here last year with my brothers, and we had a great time. But this is the first stop, I think I mentioned, on the tour for Moon River and me. So we're hoping that everybody likes the show tonight.
Jimmy, I hate to tell you, but
And I have a question though for on Stacy's behalf. She said she lives in Boston and your show wasn't going there, so I asked her if I could ask you if you'd take your show to Boston so she can
I
see
will
you perform.
try.
please come to Boston. She's saying,
Please
please.
come to
That's
Boston. Yeah.
Jimmy,
She's a great gal. She
Jimmy
really
Osmond,
is.
what an honor. I have The Godfather. I didn't know there was words to The Godfather.
I didn't either.
Wait,
I didn't either.
what do you mean you didn't know it? This is
Well-
it right here. Can you not hear it?
Oh, I can hear it.
That's the
This gets really high at the end.
I know it does.
You're marvelous.
I think I hurt myself when I did this.
No falsetto. You did it genuine.
I know, it's full head voice, which is like enough to kill a guy.
And see how astute Robin is? She knew it was not falsetto.
I know, that was
Listen to
awesome.
these notes.
You came into my world with love.
You didn't know this was The Godfather?
No, I did.
Oh.
I
Watch it. One more. Goes another one.
it's a very big
Got another
grab.
one. Got to do another watch. Plus, this girl loves you out here.
This is where my
One more.
eyes fell
Listen,
out
one
right
more.
here.
One more. Well, we just blew off the news. Jimmy Osmond, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I hope you'll get a chance to come to the show if you do.
What kind
tonight.
of a car did you rent?
I'm sorry?
Oh, I won't. No, never
you
mind.
can't tell.
No, don't tell, because then people follow you. I was going to
Oh, I heard you. I'm just
do
sorry.
you like the car you rent? Let me just say this. Do you enjoy
It's a Nissan
You're not supposed to
four-door,
say.
black.
Don't give the license plate number.
No. It's but it's actually a pretty cool car. All cars are getting better, aren't they?
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Don't get a self-driving one yet. They're not.
No, my
No.
brother bought one of
Did he
those
really?
Tesla things, you know.
Did he let go of the
And he
steering
goes,
wheel?
"Look, Jimmy, no hands." And
Look,
I'm like,
Jimmy!
Put your hands on the thing. Well, yeah.
You're still a little brother to all of them, aren't you?
Yeah, I like it.
Jimmy Osmond, it's an honor.
love
Since
you.
we blew off the news anyway, I might as well say that you will be at the Savannah Center in the Villages tonight at 5 o'clock and again at 8 o'clock. Get your tickets now, because guess what? Now that you've been here, you're going to get them all sold out. JimmyOsmond.com is your website.
It is, and it's not just me. It's my brother Jay will be there. He's cool. You'll love Jay, and of course Charlie Green and the Moon River Band, and a whole bunch of footage of all the nostalgic days of everyone you can imagine, and that Andy's family gave me. So I hope people remember the amazing legacy of Andy, and it's a great honor to have been asked to do this show.
It's very wonderful that you've done this for him, but you also are wonderful.
Thank you, buddy. Well,
Wish-
thanks so much for having me.
We'll end with this
I
one.
like your station. It's cool. You have a cool view, and you're right by the mall.
Right by the mall.
Yes, we are.
You can
Right by
go to
the mall.
Sears and buy a fridge.
That's right.
A record player.
You can buy all kinds of
Buy a
cool stuff.
sell
Starbucks,
something
have a
that we
coffee.
can hear you on.
Or the fridge. I open it up. I do 10 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you so
What an
much.
honor.
Great to
Thank
be
you,
with you
sir.
guys.
It's an honor.
We'll be right back.
Go round. What's that sound? Each time you hear a loud collective sigh, it's making music that watch girls by.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunshine mixing with clouds and hot on this Thursday, high 94 to 98. Clear to partly cloudy and warm Thursday night, low 74 to 78. On Friday, partly sunny and hot with a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon, high 94 to 98. And more the same on Saturday, partly sunny with a stray afternoon thunderstorm, high again 94 to 98. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, my name is Erica Olstein. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine. So, you used to be wired, now you're just tired. You used to be thin, but now you're the heaviest you've ever been. You don't necessarily always have to take a med if your thyroid is playing dead. If you have a thyroid disorder, an acupuncture visit may be in order. Come visit me, your primary care physician, Erica Olstein, at A Better You Healthcare. Call me at 352-615-5566.
Veterans are the foundation upon which our freedom is built. Listen to The Source, WOCA, each Thursday at 9 a.m. to Veterans News with Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets. You'll hear tributes, information on veterans issues, and stories that will make you laugh, cry, and feel proud. Veterans News always focuses on the military, past and present, and on our first responders. Veterans News is brought to you each week by Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery, keeping you blooming since 1952.
Need a mailbox rental but need more information? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. How does $10 a month sound with just a 3-month commitment? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Mention WOCA and the setup fee is waived. Personal Service Center will email or text notifications to you when your packages arrive. Even scan mail so you never actually have to pick it up. Now that's service. Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Located on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, Ocala. Look for the yellow signs.